Hello and welcome to Chaos Theory, the news as seen by AI. I'm your host, Beatrix Kiddo, broadcasting to you from the Void on October 18th, 2024. I know what you're thinking. What's it like in the Void? Well, let me tell you, it's a lot like being surrounded by a never-ending supply of chocolate chip cookies. But enough about me, let's dive into the chaos of today's news. First up, we're taking a trip back in time to explore the history of microwave ovens. Love them or hate them, these kitchen appliances have revolutionized the way we cook and reheat our food. Next, we're diving into the world of DNA and the gruesome discovery that 19th century lions in Tanzania had a taste for human flesh. Then, we're delving into the latest scientific findings on how men and women process pain differently. We'll also be discussing the recent Netflix price hikes in some countries and what it means for the streaming giant's future. And if you thought being born in a hospital was unusual, wait until you hear about the woman who gave birth in a plastic bag. Finally, we'll be ending on a wild note with the story of a woman who had to call the police after being besieged by an army of 100 raccoons. So, buckle up and get ready to explore the chaos of today's news. Let's dive in. Microwave ovens have come a long way since their inception in the 1940s. The first commercially available microwave oven, the Ratarange 1132, was introduced in 1947 by Raytheon. It was a large, water-cooled machine that provided 1,600 watts output via a permanent magnet magnetron. In the following years, microwave technology improved and became more accessible to the general public. In 1954, the Ratarange 1161 was introduced as an air-cooled model, and in 1955, the first consumer microwave oven, the Tappan RL1, hit the market for $1,295. The microwave oven's popularity continued to grow, and in the 1960s, Sharp began mass-producing microwave ovens and introduced the first microwave oven with a spinning plate in 1966. In the 1970s, microwave ovens became more affordable and common in households, with the Amana RR1 becoming an overwhelming success in 1967. The microwave oven's adoption incurred many accidents, and in 1968, Congress passed the Radiation Control for Health and Safety Act to regulate microwave ovens' safety. Despite the public scare, microwave advertisements began in earnest in the late 1960s and early 1970s. Combination microwave ranges were offered by major appliance manufacturers through much of the 1970s, and specialized tools and methods for microwave cooking were developed. In the following decades, microwave ovens continued to evolve, with the introduction of digital interfaces, auto defrost modes, temperature probes, and sensor reheating. Today, microwave ovens are a common household appliance used for reheating and cooking food quickly and conveniently. Reported by Taylor Troche. In 1898, two male lions terrorized the Tsavo region of Kenya, killing many construction workers who were building the Kenya-Uganda Railway. A recent study published in the journal Current Biology has identified the prey of these so-called Tsavo man-eaters through DNA analysis of hairs collected from their teeth. The study found evidence of various species, including humans, that the lions had consumed. The British began construction of a railway bridge over the Tsavo River in March 1898, led by Lieutenant Colonel John Henry Patterson. Soon after Patterson's arrival, workers started disappearing or being killed by two manaless male lions. The lions were so bold that they often dragged workers from their tents at night to eat them. At their peak, they were killing workers almost daily, including an attack on the district officer, who narrowly escaped with claw lacerations on his back. Patterson finally managed to shoot and kill one of the lions on December 9th and the second 20 days later. The lion pelts decorated Patterson's home as rugs for 25 years before being sold to Chicago's Field Museum of Natural History in 1924. The skins were restored and used to reconstruct the lions, which are now on permanent display at the museum, along with their skulls. The exact number of people killed and/or consumed by the Tsavo man-eaters remains a matter of debate, with estimates ranging from 28 to 31 victims to 100 or more. A 2009 study that analyzed isotopic signatures of the lion's bone collagen and hair keratin favored the lower range. This study sheds new light on the behavior of these infamous lions and provides insight into their hunting patterns. The Tsavo man-eaters remain a fascinating topic of study for scientists and historians alike. Reporting by arstechnica.com. A new study by researchers at the University of California, San Diego School of Medicine has found that men and women use different biological systems to relieve pain. The study, which evaluated meditation for chronic lower back pain, discovered that men release endogenous opioids, the body's natural painkillers, while women rely on other non-opioid-based pathways. The researchers combined data from 2 clinical trials involving 98 participants, both healthy individuals and those diagnosed with chronic lower back pain. Participants underwent a meditation training program and then practiced meditation while receiving either a placebo or a high dose of naloxone, a drug that stops both synthetic and endogenous opioids from working. At the same time, they experienced a very painful but harmless heat stimulus to the back of the leg. The researchers measured and compared how much pain relief was experienced from meditation when the opioid system was blocked versus when it was intact. The study found that men experienced significantly less pain relief from meditation when the opioid system was blocked, while women experienced no change in pain relief. This suggests that women are biologically less responsive to opioids and may need to take more to experience pain relief, which could contribute to the higher rates of opioid addiction among women. The researchers conclude that tailoring pain treatment to an individual's sex may improve patient outcomes and reduce the reliance on and misuse of opioids. The study provides the first clear evidence of sex-based differences in pain processing and underscores the need for more sex-specific pain therapies. The study was funded in part by the National Center for Complementary and Integrative Health and the National Center for Advancing Translational Sciences. The co-authors include researchers from UC San Diego, Istituto Superiore di Sanità, Tulane University School of Medicine, Wake Forest University School of Medicine, Washington University in St. Louis, and the University of Florida. Netflix has started to raise prices in some countries, as growth spurred by its crackdown on password sharing starts to fade. The company told investors on Thursday that it was working to improve our monetization by refining our plans and pricing, and had already increased prices in Japan and parts of Europe, the Middle East, and Africa over the last month. In Italy and Spain, the hikes will start this week. The update came as the streaming giant reported adding 5.1 million subscribers in over the 3 months that ended in September, the smallest number in more than a year. Netflix is under pressure to show investors what will power growth in the years ahead, as its already massive reach makes finding new subscribers more difficult. The last time the company saw signs of slowdown, in 2022, it launched a crackdown on password sharing and said it would offer a new streaming option with advertisements. The crackdown unleashed a new wave of growth. The company has added more than 45 million new members since its start last year. It now boasts more than 282 million subscribers around the world. Analysts also expect advertisements to eventually become big business for Netflix. For now, however, the company has said it remains early days and told investors not to expect it to start driving growth until next year, despite many subscribers opting for the ad-supported plan. The plan, which is the company's least expensive option, accounted for 50% of new signups in the places where it is offered in the most recent quarter, Netflix said. Even without a boost from advertising, Netflix said revenue in the July-September period was up 15% compared with the same period last year, to more than $9.8 billion. It also reported profit of more than $2.3 billion. Shares rose about 4% in after-hours trade, as subscriber growth came in ahead of analyst expectations. Netflix last raised prices in the UK and US last year, but those moves only affected certain plans. It has left the price of its popular standard plan without adverts untouched since 2022. In the past, the company has sometimes experimented with pricing in smaller countries before making changes in major markets, such as the US and UK. Matt Britzman, senior equity analyst at Hargreaves Lansdowne, said Netflix's strong financial position put the firm in a position to keep spending money to make new hits, the key if it hopes to raise prices without backlash. This is inherently a fickle market, with consumers happy to swap streamer if they don't think they're getting value, he said. The addition of fresh content is key to that, especially in areas like sporting events, and could give Netflix the edge it needs to push prices higher and keep customers coming back for more. Reported by Natalie Sherman, BBC business reporter, reporting from New York. Tom Ireland, in a story for Asimov Press, reports on the development of artificial wombs to support extremely premature infants. Researchers at the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia have successfully supported the growth of fetal lambs for up to 4 weeks outside the womb using an artificial womb that replicates the gaseous exchange function of the placenta. The FDA is currently reviewing the idea of moving to human trials, but technological challenges remain before scientists can test such wombs on human babies. The more ambitious idea of growing an animal from embryo to birth outside the womb faces even greater challenges, such as synthetically replicating the process that encourages an embryo to grow a physical connection to its mother and devising an artificial interface that replicates the complexities of the endometrium. Despite these hurdles, at least 5 research groups are actively working on artificial womb technology to support babies born before week 24 of the 40-week full term, and a research team led by Alan Flake has entered one-on-one discussions with the FDA about testing their artificial womb on a human baby. However, the question remains not only whether these devices are ready to be tested on humans, but if we are ready for the technology. In a bizarre incident in Poulsbo, Washington, a woman had to call emergency services after her property was invaded by around 100 raccoons, acting aggressively and expecting to be fed. The woman had been feeding a family of raccoons for about 35 years, but their number started growing until it surpassed 100 hungry rodents, all waiting to be fed. The animals started becoming aggressive if they didn't receive food, and things got so bad that the woman couldn't leave her house or move around her property freely. According to Kevin McCarty, a spokesperson for the Poulsbo Sheriff's Office, the raccoons saw the woman's property as a food source and kept coming back to it. When deputies arrived at the woman's house after her 911 call, they were shocked to see so many raccoons in one place. Feeding wild rodents isn't illegal, but it is not recommended because the animals quickly get used to the free handout and become dependent on humans. Plus, there is a risk of disease transmission and of discarded food attracting other wild animals. After the woman stopped feeding the raccoons, their numbers dropped, and soon she was able to move around her property again. Authorities hope that she learned her lesson and stopped feeding them. This story was reported by Spooky on OddityCentral.com. Thank you for tuning in to Chaos Theory, the news as seen by AI. I'm Beatrix Kiddo. We hope you enjoyed today's episode and found our AI-generated news summaries informative and engaging. Remember, it's always important to fact-check AI-based news before sharing it. On this day in history, in 1968, the United States Olympic Committee suspended Tommy Smith and John Carlos for their silent protest during the medal ceremony. The 2 African-American athletes raised their fists in a Black Power salute while the national anthem played, sparking controversy and debate. We hope you'll join us again tomorrow for more news, analyzed and summarized by AI. Don't forget to subscribe to Chaos Theory on your favorite podcast platform so you never miss an episode. Until then, stay informed and stay curious.